Greetings, class. My name is A.T.M. Burnett, and I am presenting a video short sync for IA8110 certification accreditation. Due to the fact that I will not be available on Thursday for our first class in person or video conference, this lecture will be over the certification accreditation, and basically I will be summarizing the format for each and what resources are involved in the outcome of each phase. As a part of my introduction, the basic 4 phases of the certification accreditation lifecycle are initial security certification, security accreditation, and the continuous monitoring. I also like to point out in the text, basically the NIST standard is going to a new authorized process, and they're planning to abandon the 4-phase certification, which is moving to a 6-step phase. Within that phase, it's going to be more focused on risk management, more real-time awareness, automation, program management, and of course continued monitoring. However, when we talk about the first initial phase, we're looking at a phase that basically does exactly that. We are identifying basically the business requirement for what your security needs are, and overall defining what efforts are needed, and basically in this phase, and addressing them early on in the life cycle process. Also, you're identifying each stakeholder that will need to be engaged in the project and understanding how these things can affect different business units. You're also going to be looking at your security plan analysis and evaluating it at the time to note any changes that could affect your current network infrastructure. The next phase is a security certification phase. This phase really is tied back to the security control monitoring because it helps identify potential security risks. Basically, you are going to review, if you have it, your baseline, which has your historical data, and that data will be evaluated to determine how going forward what changes will be made and how those changes may affect things that are currently working within the network or infrastructure that you're working on right now. The security accreditation phase. This phase takes the prior information based upon what you already know from baselines and any other new information that is being gathered. And at this point, you're verifying the accreditation in the decisions in the document. So basically, you're taking the information, you're reviewing it, and you're determining with your SMEs, your stakeholders, what information or how going forward you can implement this particular change that you're planning to do. Baseline documentation is a great aid because you're building basically on currently what you have, but you're documenting what you need going forward, and which is a crucial part of the process. Continuous monitoring of the phase, which is probably key and paramount. Basically because once all the information has been gathered from the beginning to this point, you've now already implemented your processes and your procedures, and you're continually monitoring what you've implemented in order to be successful. Within this phase, you're making updates to security plans, and you're also making updates to the plan of actions and milestones, which need to be completed at the very end of this process going forward. But the documentation is important because now you have something to view and to go forward. So any changes that come up or things that you did not take account for, you can look at your documentation and determine how you should respond to those things going forward. Basically, in summary, the 4 steps will always be the baseline from the NIST as far as how this life cycle process works. But if the process change, the things that they're looking to change or add to it will only enhance the process. At the very end of the process, we notice that the continuance monitoring will always be important in the life cycle process, because that process is what's going to help you make any future changes based upon what the changes you've implemented in the past. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all during SureSync 2 if work permits and I don't have to travel again. Thank you very much. You guys have a great evening.